Hello there, welcome to a new video. I will be showing you how to repair a Bible that has kind of detached from the case. This is a simple thing to fix, and I hope this video helps you. A heart speed. Let's get started. There's many ways to approach this. And in this Bible, you can see it's only detached from one side, and on the back, it's not. But you could simply just fix the front, or you could do what I'm doing, which is completely remove the back as well, so that when the Bible gets fixed, it has the same end pages in the front and in the back, so that it looks uniform, and it's a preference. But if your Bible is only detached from the front, you could skip this and just fix the part that's broken. But if it's detached from both sides, then I guess you don't have an option. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm detaching the other side. So if your Bible has only been detached from one side, this is how you do it. You simply pull the page off slowly, and then you just pull the rest of it. Like you see here, I didn't want to rip it, so I used a blade to do it more gently. And don't forget to hydrate. Okay, so now let's move on to the next step. Okay, so what most people do is that they never clean their Bibles, and it's full of crumbs. So that's what I'm doing. Who eats with their Bible, right? Everyone. So I was just cleaning off the crumbs before I went on to the next part. So those are the pages that I just pulled off from the front and the back, and then some of the stuff that the owner had inside of the Bible, I just pulled it out so I can work. Okay, so in the comments, let me know if you are new bookbinding at Bookbinding, or if you simply are here because you want to fix your Bible. Okay, so now you see I'm going to remove some of that I don't know what to call it, paper from the spine, so that the gluing can go on a little bit more smooth. And while I'm at it, I'm going to add a little bit of glue onto the end bands, which are falling apart a bit. And then let me tell you that with this Bible, I didn't even realize that it didn't have ribbon markers, so that the owner could keep a tab on where she's reading. And I didn't realize it until the end, so you'll see that this Bible actually doesn't have any ribbon markers. But I'm telling you this because if your Bible doesn't have any, you could actually pull the end band, which is that little thing that I'm gluing. You could pull it off and then put some ribbons, glue them to the edge, and then put that on top, and there you go, you have ribbon markers. Anyways, next step is to cut a piece of paper the same length as your spine and the width, and then you're adding the glue to the part that has the width, and then you're gonna attach that as I'm doing right now, and then you're gonna leave two flaps, one on each side, and those flaps are actually what's going to be, I guess, allowing us to attach the Bible to the case that fell off. After that, what you want to do is just you go in with a bone folder. If you have this tool, it's really helpful. But if you don't, you could just put pressure with your hand and with a towel. I use the towel also to help my fingers get clean off my fingers when I have glue on them. Okay, next part is to measure some paper, decorative paper, but preferably a very sturdy paper. Maybe not as thick as cardstock, but something that's heavy enough that'll allow you to have your Bible for a few more years. So this paper is actually I could think is handmade. I mean, it's a decorative paper. And the important part is to have a piece of paper that is long enough to cover the front page, I guess you could say, and also to cover, I'm not sure how to explain it, but the point is that this paper has to fit. It has to be double, and you'll see what I mean in a second. It has to be long enough. So I was going to do it with another paper, but then I realized, oh man, it's not long enough. The paper has to fold in half to equal, two equal sides. And you'll see why in a moment. I'm sorry if that made no sense. But you'll see what I mean in a second. The good thing is that you're not just guided by my voice, but just pay attention to what I'm doing with my hands on the screen. Okay, so we're folding the piece of paper that we have chosen for the end paper, and you will need two of these. One will go in the front and one will go on the back. This will help us attach the Bible to the case. So just make sure that it measures. It has the dimensions of your Bible, like you see here in front of you. It's thundering over here, and I'm wondering if you can hear it. Okay, as you can see, the paper is a little bit longer than it should, so I'm just kind of, measuring the excess, and I'll just cut that off so that it lines up with the pages in the Bible. Okay, let's see. It seems to be perfect now. And now let's go to the gluing part. Okay, this is I don't know if it's easy, but I think it's pretty easy. Okay, so you see here I have two folded sheets of paper, one for the back of the Bible and one for the front. And so these flaps that I told you, that's where we're going to glue these pages that we cut. One for the front flap and one for the back, okay? Okay, this part is very important. So we're actually only going to glue or put glue on about 1/4 of an inch, like you see there. And then we're gonna grab the folded sheet and just glue that little bit of the edge, okay? That's it. It's very important that you do not glue more, or that will affect the rest. So we're just pushing down lightly, and we're only gluing about 1/4 of an inch of the edge, and then pressing it with our bone folder or hand, whatever you have. Next, we will add glue to the flap and bring that down to the page. Okay, after you have glued it down to the paper, you just press, and now you go to the back. You do exactly the same thing. So you're going to add only about 1/4 of an inch of glue on the very edge, and you're just going to bring down the folded sheet and press down, and repeat the same process as the last page. At this point, I would recommend that you let it dry a bit, so that, nothing happens, because it still has a bit of moisture from the glue. But I'm just showing you exactly where it's going to go right here, and that's exactly what we're going to do after you let it dry. You're just going to glue these beautiful end sheets that you already attached to your Bible, and you're going to glue it all up and attach it to the case. For this Bible in particular, I wanted to remove some of the white paper that's still on the case. If I was redoing the whole case from scratch and making it completely new, then this step would be just not necessary. But since we are gluing paper on top of the existing case, it's important to have it a little bit clean so that we can attach it. Now, this is an extra step that if you don't need it, you could skip. I'm adding a piece of cardstock paper because it's sturdy to the spine, to the inside of the case, so that it's just a little bit more sturdy for the owner. The person who owns this Bible actually asked me for this because the Bible is kind of ripping on the spine, but she didn't want to completely have a new case done. So I was like, well, the only thing I can do to kind of stop the Bible from continuing to rip in the front is to fix the spine, reinforce the inside so that it doesn't continue to break on the outside. If you don't need this for your Bible and your Bible's not falling apart from the spine, then I would just skip this and go to the next section. I will leave timestamps in the description. Okay, so now let's go ahead and attach this Bible. I will tell you to make sure that your case and your Bible is facing the right direction, that it's not upside down or backwards, so that, Genesis is not accidentally in the back. Oh my, I won't tell you that how many times. Well, maybe just a couple times I have done that in the past when I was just learning. Okay, so let's add all the glue. Actually, we have a mini commercial here. I went ahead and attached one side, so you will actually see how I did it for the front of the Bible, because I already attached the back. That's just to save you time, because it's the same thing on both sides. But I wanted to show you the ribbon markers that I made for this Bible, since I realized later, after I had already attached the end bands, to the spine that it didn't have ribbons, and I was like, no, how is she going to? Okay, now let's go ahead and let me show you how to, do this part. So like I said, we're adding the glue to the page, and you're going to need to do it on the paper, not on the case. If you do it the other way, it will not work. Okay, so make sure that you're very generous and that you work quickly. You do not want it to dry, and you do not want to leave any spaces without glue. Make sure that it's very well covered, because this is what's going to keep your Bible, attached. Okay, after you're all done putting the glue, we're simply going to push it up. And I forgot to tell you to make sure that the spine was aligned in the middle of the case, so that the pages that we're gluing onto the case line up. And that's all you do. You simply just bring it slowly up onto the case, as you see, and then put pressure on top with your bone folder or with your hand. Now, after you do that, make sure to put some sheets that you don't need in between, that will absorb the moisture, and because paper gets all wrinkly with the glue. So that's what the orange sheets that I'm using are. I just put it in between, and I'll just let it dry for a couple hours, and that's it. Congratulations on attaching your Bible back to its case. I hope that was helpful. As you can see, I'm kind of new at this tutorial thing, but I was hoping to help someone out. So I'll see you in the next video.